If someone depends on you financially, you need life insurance. But when you start that process, you find out there's multiple different types of life insurance. And to know which one is right for you and how to get started and how to apply can feel really overwhelming. So today, we're going to break down the simplest and most straightforward type of life insurance, term life insurance, which also happens to be the cheapest and the most appropriate option for most families. So let's get started. Alright, so now we're going to talk about term life insurance. And here's the best part. Term life insurance is incredibly simple to understand. You pick a set death benefit that you want, how much money you want your family or loved ones to receive if you pass unexpectedly, and for how long you want that coverage. That could be anywhere from 1 to 5 years to 30 years. And then you get a set premium that you pay every month for the length of your policy. That number does not change. So if you're told that your monthly premium is $30, that's the amount you pay every single month. And as long as your policy is paid up, if you pass in that 5, 10, 20, 30 years, your family will receive that death benefit. There's no savings component. There's no crazy things going on. That is the number. That is your monthly fee. And for most families, that's really all you need. Now, a question we get a lot is, why do I need life insurance, right? I have a small policy through work, or I don't feel like this is an expense we can fit in our budget right now. So what I ask all parents to ask themselves is, if something happened to you tomorrow, would your family be put in a financially difficult position? Would they have trouble keeping the house? Would they have trouble replacing your income? Would they be able to cover the cost of your funeral or take some time off to grieve? And if the answer to those questions is yes, they would be placed in a financially difficult position, you need life insurance. There are some people that are fully financially independent or very wealthy that don't need life insurance, but for the vast majority of families, you do need it. And term life insurance, like we said, is simple and easy, and that also means that it's the cheapest way to get life insurance. You'll hear about whole life insurance or permanent life insurance and all these different things, but those are multiple times more expensive for a lot of different reasons that we're not going to get into today. But for most families, term life insurance is all you need. You determine the term of time, the amount of time that you're going to need that protection, that your family would be in a financially difficult position. Usually for a lot of families, that's until their kids are out of college or until their home is paid off, their mortgage is paid off. Choose that term, choose the amount of coverage you need, and you can apply in less than 10 minutes. This is the craziest part. You're going to answer a couple questions about your household income, about any current insurance you have. If you have a small policy through work, make sure to list it, and then some answers about your health. Remember to be very truthful on those questions. If you say that you've never smoked and you are a smoker, if you say that you've never had high blood pressure or high cholesterol and you do, and something happens to you that turns out to be related to one of those things you lied about, an insurance company can decide not to pay off your policy. So we don't want to put our families at risk that way. We want to make sure that we're honest on those applications. For some insurance providers like Bestow or Haven Life, if you're healthy, you don't even have to get a medical exam. You don't even have to go prove how healthy you are today. For my husband, we have a $500,000 policy through Bestow that costs us $27 a month. It's super affordable, and it's a way that we know he's a stay-at-home dad. So if something happened to him, I'd be able to afford childcare for the kids. I'd be able to take a little bit of time off and spend time with my boys while they grieved and help them through that. And it's a huge peace of mind thing. For me, as the breadwinner, my policy is larger and it lasts longer so that we can replace my income in the time that my husband needs to revamp his resume and go back to work, or he simply just wants to stay home with the kids until they're old enough to not need his day-to-day care anymore. So those policies are easy to apply for. You just have to answer some questions about your health. And as for where to apply, where to go do this today, you can go to Bestow, like I mentioned, Haven Life. I really also like Ladder, which allows you to have a little bit more flexibility of how much coverage you need and when. Or you can look to big companies like USAA. Just make sure that they have solid AM Best ratings. That's a company that ranks the financial security of your insurance company, because the last thing you want to do is have an insurance policy with a company that goes bust and doesn't have any money to pay off your policies. That's really scary. But one of the things I tell people all the time is that apply for life insurance as soon as possible. And this might feel like something that you're like, hey, we're crunched on our budget right now, we're trying to get out of debt, I'm going to wait a couple years and then we'll apply for insurance. First of all, if something happens to you in that midterm, you don't want to leave your family in that position, right? That's a really scary thing to even contemplate, but we don't want to be leaving these risky gaps, especially if you're a family that's getting out of debt and still getting on your feet financially. That's another financial blow that you'd be dealing with that you wouldn't be if you just had life insurance. The second thing is that life insurance costs are based on your age and health. So the younger you are and the healthier you are, the cheaper your premiums will be. And that locks in for the life of the policy. My husband's insurance policy will be $27 for the next 20 years, regardless of what happens to his health, regardless of if he comes down with some chronic condition or some other issue like high blood pressure. So you want to lock that in as early as possible. It just takes a few minutes. Don't put it off another day, and get out there and apply for some term life insurance.